I've just completed season 2 of As the Crow Flies. One of the themes in this series is the competition between women hating women thinking that there's only seat for one woman and competing for it, and using all kinds of methods through hook or crook to get to the stage, because apparently we are taught as society that there's only space for one woman to shine. And in this latest season, something that has really got me interested is the hate that exists between friends, female friends. And this is something that I've actually seen a lot. I've even experienced it myself to a point where I'm really not the kind of person to want to be friends with anyone, because I've had really bad experiences. And of course I cannot speak for men because I don't know what goes on in male friendships, but when it comes to female friendships and what we actually see being highlighted lots of the times in series and in movies, it's not something to admire. So the scene that really caught my eye in this series was the part where Lale and Muge, they have been friends for a very long time, and then suddenly one of them is like, I hate you, you've destroyed my life, you took everything away from me. And of course the other one is absolutely clueless and is like, what the hell is going on? And I see this in a lot of dynamics where one friend is absolutely successful, the other is always playing the role of like a supporting character of something, and over time they start being jealous of the other friend's success. They want what they have. Jealousy starts growing slowly, it becomes resentment, which is really understandable, because how would you feel to literally grow up with someone or go to the same school with someone, and then that other person who happens to be a friend is the one that is getting all opportunities, and no one seems to be giving you the same opportunities? And it's even worse if it's the friend that was actually not putting in a lot of effort in school, and you're literally thinking like, oh, this person has it very easy in their life, they literally don't have to put in any effort, and yet they get to gain everything. I would also get mad if I was in that situation. But the problem is not really the resentment and the jealousy that one feels. I feel like the problem is not communicating that you're feeling that way. If a lot of women were really honest about how they feel about their friends, first of all, a lot of friendships will not exist for years, for decades. But on the other hand, maybe that other friend is going to get more conscious and ensure that they're including you in whatever they're doing. But you'll never really know until you communicate. What really aggravates the situation is the fact that we are always being taught in the society that there's only one space for one woman to shine on a stage. You cannot be two women. And we've seen this over and over again, whether it's in the modeling industry. I even see it in the Kenyan influencer spaces where one female comedian is pitted against another female comedian, as if there's no space for everyone to shine. It even gets worse when you have a group of friends, and I'm going to use Selling Sunset as a reference because I feel like this is like the perfect show that really shows you the dynamics between women. I find that the kind of friendships, female friendships that are shown in this show are absolutely interesting. I just don't think that any of those people are actually friends with each other. Just seeing the dynamic that they have with each other, I mean, if you're friends with someone, you would clearly not be sitting somewhere listening to somebody else saying bad things about your friend, and you're just there seated listening. Then after that you're just going to your friend and be like, hi, this and this person was saying this and this about you. But it's like, what were you doing there in the first place? You were sitting there contributing to the conversation, and now what? Now you pretend that you care about your friend? Each and every time I watch such a show, I always find myself reflecting on my ideas of friendships with other women. Personally, I really don't care for friendships, and maybe it's because I've had bad experiences. I remember while I was in school one time, someone that I considered to be my best friend suddenly started spreading rumors that I had said something about another girl, which I had not. So for a few days I was treated like I'm the worst human being ever. And then after another few days, I see her, the so-called best friend, hanging out with a girl who I supposedly said the bad things about. I was like, oh, so this was something that was concocted so they could steal my best friend. And from that day onwards, I was just like, you know what, I don't need friends. I also think that I'm also very apprehensive about friendships because when my mother passed away, I remember all the people that I considered to be my friends were nowhere to be seen. I remember one of them telling me that she couldn't come to my mother's funeral because she had a school event. The people who were actually there for me were people that were never my friends, they were acquaintances. And that experience really made me question whether I need friendships or not. There's also the fact that I am an extreme introvert. Like, I'm the kind of person who will stay home for 3 months without talking to anyone, without texting anyone. I'm fine. Actually, my Myers-Briggs personality, or is it the 16 personalities test? Is mine INTJ or something? One of the characteristics is confident individualism. I don't know what that means, but if it means that someone who is just perfect being on their own, who likes being on their own, who would like to be on their own in the entire world, well, that's me. And I think this is why this dynamics of female friendships really interest me, because I'm just like, this is very interesting. I mean, to have someone you can literally share everything with, I just don't think I'm at that space, because I also don't trust people, because I don't believe that human beings are inherently good. I believe that human beings are inherently good and evil, and I think that as a society, especially as women, because we go through a lot of oppression, a lot of the times we want to believe that all women around us are good, but the nature of every human being is that human beings are good and evil. So yes, you might have that person or persons who you tell everything, who bring you comfort, bring you joy, but also they could be your worst enemies. Essentially, this is what we see in the As the Crow Flies, because the girlfriend is the one who is trying to jeopardize her career, sending rumors to tabloids. And we've had this story over and over again. When someone gets famous and all of a sudden the people who are around them are the ones who are spreading rumors about their lives, who are leaking private things, and really having lived a life where the people who are closest to me, my family members, have been the ones who have hurt me the most. I really don't have the luxury of trusting people. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I must say that, well, so far so good. But it also means that this has a huge effect on how I also approach friendships, because I find that a lot of times people want to be friends with me. I mean, I do understand it. I'm just an amazing human being to be around. Someone once told me that spending time with me is like an adventure. Oh, I enjoy spending time with me, so of course when other people see me, they want to spend time with me. But it's frustrating, because building any kind of relationship, like a friendship, you have to put in time and effort, and I don't want to do any of that. Also, I'm not interested in telling you anything about me, because what if 10 years from now we're not talking and then you use whatever I told you against me? No. Nevertheless, I really do think that a lot of women can have amazing friendships between each other if they learn to actually communicate and set boundaries. That is always something that I see to be a problem, because you shouldn't be letting everyone in on your business, even if they are your closest friend. Some things are just meant to be for you. Once you understand that, then it's going to be easier to actually navigate relationships. I think it's also important to separate business and friendship. And a great example in Selling Sunset is when Chriselle and Amanza got into a fight, and Amanza had gotten a gig to do some deco stuff for Chriselle's girlfriend, boyfriend, partner. And because they had problems with their personal relationship, business ties were cut, and it was a loss for both of them. That is a result of not having boundaries. It's important, if you're in a very important to set those boundaries, so that you can know, okay, if something happens in our personal lives, it doesn't affect our business lives, because if you don't put that boundary, it's going to mess you up. That's just one example. There are plenty other examples of similar situations, but I just keep on wondering about people who stay around people that they hate, that they're jealous of, that they're resentful of for long periods of time. Like, why would you do that to yourself? This also applies to social media. If you see someone who is living their best life and you find yourself being jealous of that person because you feel like you're also entitled to living that kind of life, it's really good to just unfollow them, stay away from them, mute them, because it doesn't do you any good. And instead of really hating that person because of this jealousy that you feel inside you, you should sit down with yourself and have a talk with yourself, because jealousy is not really bad, because it's showing you what you desire, and you should embrace it and tell yourself, okay, this is the life that I want to live, and I see that this person is clearly living that life, which means it's also possible for you. So how can I work towards achieving that? So instead of seeing them as a competition, instead of seeing them as someone who has taken something away from your life, maybe you can even reach out to that person and ask them how they got to where they are. They can mentor you, they can open you up to their network. You know, you never know. Instead of seeing people as competition, perhaps start thinking about how you can collaborate with people. That is the best way to actually live life, because I can't imagine how sad it is to always feel like you're competing with your friend. It must be cathartic to just live that kind of life. Like, ugh. Anyway, those are some thoughts that I've been having about female friendships. I would definitely want to hear some of the thoughts that you have. It's a very interesting topic because, again, we live in a society that emphasizes a lot of romantic relationships, but I think that female friendships, most especially if you nurture them well, can be the most rewarding thing ever. And I'm wearing a top that I made with my own hands. I'm really at a time where I've gained so much weight and most of my clothes don't fit me anymore, so I should probably get to crocheting. Is it a crochet? I should get back to crocheting more tops like this so I can have variety.